Have you ever wondered how you can effortlessly tie your shoelaces even while talking to someone or thinking about something else? Or how difficult it is to break a bad habit? Isn't it curious how you can drive to work without consciously thinking about every turn? Or why some melodies stick in your head playing on an endless loop? These everyday mysteries aren't just quirks. They're clues to understanding how our brains are wired. Well, the secret to all this lies in a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, in simple terms, is the ability of our brain to change and adapt. Now that might seem a bit abstract, but this is not up for discussion. Neuroplasticity is a proven fact. Numerous studies in neuroscience have provided evidence for neuroplasticity using various techniques such as MRI brain imaging, electrophysiology, and cellular molecular biology. These studies have demonstrated structural changes in the brain, such as the formation of new synapses and dendritic growth, as well as functional changes, such as alterations in brain activity patterns, in response to experience and learning. Neuroplasticity plays a crucial role in rehabilitation and recovery from brain injuries, strokes, and neurodegenerative diseases. Clinical interventions such as physical therapy, occupational therapy, and cognitive rehabilitation harness the brain's plasticity to promote recovery by facilitating the formation of new neural connections and restoring lost functions. Research on animals, including rodents and non-human primates, has provided further evidence for neuroplasticity. These studies have demonstrated the ability of the brain to reorganize in response to environmental enrichment, sensory stimulation, and learning tasks, leading to structural and functional changes in the brain. Longitudinal studies tracking individuals over time have shown changes in brain structure and function associated with various experiences, such as learning new skills, acquiring expertise, meditation practice, and aging. These studies provide compelling evidence for ongoing neuroplasticity throughout the lifespan. The understanding of neuroplasticity can create huge bridges to natural treatment of diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and many other neurodegenerative diseases, as well as addiction recovery, stroke, and learning disabilities. The fact that we can rewire our nervous system and change our behavior is groundbreaking in my opinion. So let's break this down using some everyday metaphors. Picture your brain as a dense, bustling city. The roads in this city are your neural pathways, the routes that electrical impulses travel to communicate information. When you're born, your brain is like a city with only a few roads. As you grow and learn, new roads are built. Each time you learn something new or have a new experience, it's like construction crews laying down a new street in our brain city. But it's not just about building more roads, it's also about maintaining and enhancing the ones we already have. Let's say you start playing the piano. At first, the road to this skill is unpaved and rough, but as you practice, that road gets smoother, wider, and more efficient, allowing information to travel faster along it. This represents the strengthening of neural connections when we repeat an action or thought. Conversely, if there's a road in your brain city that you stop using, maybe an old habit you've given up or a piece of information you no longer need, that road starts to deteriorate. The traffic along it slows down, and eventually, it might be reclaimed by nature, fading away into obscurity. This signifies how our brain weakens and may eventually eliminate connections that are no longer used. In the same way that a city planner might reroute traffic or build a new bypass based on changes in the city's needs, your brain is constantly reshaping itself based on your experiences. It's a dynamic, ongoing process that continues throughout your life. So neuroplasticity is essentially the brain's way of adapting to new information, experiences, and behaviors. It's the brain's way of ensuring that it's always ready and equipped to handle whatever comes its way, whether it's a new skill to learn, a problem to solve, or a change in circumstances. It's the brain's way of staying agile, adaptable, and ready for whatever life throws at it. Now, you might be wondering, what does neuroplasticity have to do with habit formation? Well, the answer lies in the remarkable ability of our brain to rewire itself in response to our experiences. Imagine a forest, untouched and dense. Now, envision walking through this forest, carving out a path as you go. The first time you tread this path, the journey is difficult, with thick undergrowth and obstacles in your way. But each time you walk the same path, it becomes clearer, easier, and before you know it, a well-trodden trail forms. This is similar to how our brain works when we learn something new or develop a new habit. When we perform an action or think a thought, our brain fires a specific pattern of neurons. At first, this neural pathway is weak, just like our path in the forest. But as we repeat the action or thought, the pathway strengthens. This is the foundation for the use of affirmations, to strengthen the pathways to where you want to go. With time, the brain's neurons become more efficient at firing together, making the action or thought easier and more automatic. This is the essence of habit formation. Take the simple act of brushing your teeth, for example. When you first learned to brush your teeth as a child, it required conscious effort. But over time, this action became so ingrained that you can now do it almost without thinking. That's because the neural pathway associated with toothbrushing has been strengthened through repetition. On the flip side, when we stop performing an action or thinking a certain thought, the associated neural pathway weakens. This is how we can break old habits and form new ones. By consciously choosing to reinforce new behaviors or thoughts, we can create new neural pathways and let the old ones fade away. Thus, neuroplasticity plays an integral role in the formation and breaking of habits. Our brain's ability to change and adapt is a powerful tool that we can leverage to cultivate positive habits and let go of the ones that no longer serve us. So next time you find yourself stuck in a rut, remember, your brain has the power to change, and that's a habit worth forming. Understanding neuroplasticity gives us the power to change our habits. But how, you might ask? Let's look deeper. Our brain, a 3-pound universe within us, is an astounding organ with the ability to rewire itself based on our thoughts, actions, and experiences, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. This means that our daily habits, whether good or bad, are not set in stone. They are rather etched in the malleable terrain of our brain, susceptible to change. Let's look at another analogy. Think of your brain as a tropical island with many fruits and nut trees buried within a dense rainforest that you are stranded in. Luckily, you brought a picnic basket so you eat your cheeses and processed lunch meats, but then you run out. The brush is very thick, but you see a bunch of coconuts trees in one direction and bananas in another. Each one of those overgrown pathways are so tough to navigate, but eventually you forge a pathway which becomes a well-trodden path to access your nourishment. And it becomes such a habit that when you are rescued, you can no longer eat processed food, choosing fresh fruit and vegetables. The more we repeat the habit, the more worn and accessible this path becomes. Now, when we decide to change a habit, it is akin to forging a new path in the dense forest. If have formed a habit that we don't want, it is a matter changing the habit. Whether it's 1 sit-up or 20, consistent changes in another direction will change your neuronal pathways. So, how can we harness the power of neuroplasticity to form good habits and break bad ones? The first step is awareness. We must consciously recognize our habits and understand their impact. The second step is commitment. Changing a habit requires repeated effort and perseverance. We need to consistently choose the new path over the old one. The third step is patience. Remember, Rome was not built in a day. It takes time for the new neural pathways to form and strengthen. Incorporating mindfulness, affirmations, and meditation can also aid this process. By focusing our attention, we can guide our brain to form the desired neural pathways. It's like shining a spotlight on the new path in the forest, making it easier to follow. So, the next time you find it hard to break a habit, remember, you have the power to change your brain. And in doing so, you can change your habits, and ultimately, your life. Imagine how empowering that is. The power to shape your life lies within you, within the intricate folds of your brain. Harness it, embrace it, and witness the transformation unfold. In summary, neuroplasticity is the brain's amazing ability to adapt and change, and it plays a crucial role in habit formation. It proves that the human body not only has the ability to change, but it is designed for change. So excuses are moot. You can change if you truly want to. This fascinating mechanism, inherent in our brains, is the foundation for learning new skills, adapting to new environments, and most importantly, for the formation and alteration of our habits. We've examined the intricacies of neuroplasticity, unraveling the way it works, its effects on our daily lives, and how it is fundamentally connected to our habits. It's the process that allows the neurons in our brains to compensate for injury and disease and to adjust their activities in response to new situations or changes in our environment. We've discovered that our brains are not hardwired as previously thought, but rather they're plastic, moldable, and adaptable. And this plasticity is what makes it possible for us to develop new habits, change old ones, and continuously learn and grow. But probably the most exciting part is that we have the power to consciously direct this process. Through mindfulness, repetition, and consistency, we can leverage neuroplasticity to create healthier, more productive habits. Whether it's quitting smoking, incorporating daily exercise, or learning a new language, neuroplasticity is the driving force behind these transformations. Moreover, we've learned that our habits, both good and bad, shape not only our lives, but also our brains. They carve neural pathways that over time become more and more entrenched, making these habits automatic and hard to break. But with the power of neuroplasticity, we can rewrite these pathways, replace bad habits with good ones, and become the best versions of ourselves. Now that you know how powerful your brain is, why not make it a habit to keep learning more? With each of my videos that you watch, you're not just gaining new knowledge, you're also exercising your brain, strengthening your neural connections, and fostering your brain's neuroplasticity. So go ahead, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your friends, and watch more of my videos to help keep your brain fit and active. I'd be honored.